Hi guys, my name is Bernd Wustinger. I'm the author of Night Express. I'd like to introduce to you the processes of Night Express based on a tabletop simulator version of the game. For full details of the rules, please refer to the attached game guide. You can see the elements of the game. There is a route map, a display board to display cards and trains, an upgrade board, several markers, coins, and some card decks. Here you can see the area of a player. Night Express is played in 4 rounds. Each round is structured in 6 game steps, which you can follow on your personal support board. First we will choose the routes and erect service points. Then we will acquire trains in a train auction. We can upgrade and transfer trains between the routes. Then we improve our routes and trains, and next events take place. Each round there is a route evaluation and the payout of money. Afterwards you'll recruit specialists. At the beginning of the game you get 2 secret route target cards. You can see there are 2 targets on each card, and if you fulfill the targets there will be extra points at the end of the game. You'll choose one, take it in your card set, and dispose the other. Taking a closer look at the route map, you can see different railway stations and routes in between them. The colors are also important because depending on the number of players, routes with specific colors are used and other not. Here you see with the red tracks the high-speed network. For this step 1 I've prepared the route cards which are available for the players. I will turn them around and you can see what's on these route cards. First of all, there is the stations. So for example here you have Vienna, Munich and Cologne. In other cases there is only 2 stations. We'll now take one of these cards, put it here on the route map to have a better overview. What you also can see on the route cards is the number of passengers on this route, the travel time, and what's the impact if you're co-using a partial route together with other players. I've also prepared 2 route tokens and a service point. So I'll mark the route between Vienna and Munich and Cologne with these route markers, and I have to set a service point. The service point can be set on each of the 3 railway stations involved. I'll choose Munich because that's a very central location. Now I have to drag the route card on my personal board and mark the passenger on the passenger strip beside. The position of this passenger marker will change during the game based on several locations. Other players do now the same. If there is a co-usage of a partial route, both players have to reduce their passengers by a certain amount specified on the route card. That was it for step 1, and now we take a look at the second step, the train market. I prepared this already on the display board, where there were the route cards before. On the trains you can see the number of wagons and the winning points depending on the passengers transported with the train. You can see the options and special wagons which can be attached to the train. Here you see the direct passenger impact of the train, here, here, and here. And in the center of the train you see the cost of the train or the loss of winning points each round if you decide to take a leasing contract. There are 3 different kinds of trains. The brand new train, refurbished old trains, and simple old trains. They differ in their winning points, in the passenger impact, or also in their ability to hold options. Now to the auction with its specific bidding mechanism, starting with the highest ranking train, which is the train with the highest purchase price. Bidders make their offer out of their bid card sets. But you have to consider that you have to pay your bid additionally to the purchase price of the train. So this would be 25 for this train, and maybe you choose for 5 years, so it would be in total 30 money. You will turn your card around and put it on the table in front of you. After all players did the same, the cards are turned around and the player with the highest bid gets the train. The player has to pay the purchase price and his bid. Then the card is taken back into his bid card set. This is now done for all the trains until each player has got 1 train. Now you have to place the train on your player's board. There are small arrows at the train and on the platform which you have to bring in line so the train is right positioned. You can immediately see how many of your wagons are covered with passengers. In our case, all the wagons are covered because there are 13 passengers, but only 10 wagons on the train. In this phase of the game, you also can switch the trains between the different routes, and you can upgrade old trains to refurbished ones. And you can now also dispose of leasing contracts if you have more money at a later stage of the game. Now to the next step, optimize routes. For this we use this upgrade board. And we have to prepare our 2 action meeples. It is a worker placement mechanism. There are different actions available. First, starter for the next round. What you have to consider here is that you are not allowed to take this action with your first meeple, in order to avoid that the start of this round immediately gets starter for the next round again. After all players took their first meeple, it is the last player who gets first with the second meeple, and he therefore is the first one to choose the starter for the next round. So it is ensured that the other players also have a chance to get started. The other players then follow in backward order. The actions available depend on the number of players. For 2 players it's only the yellow fields, for 3 and 4 players it's yellow and green, and for 5 and 6 players it's all 3 fields possible. Here you can add car transporters and dining cars. If your train can hold 2 additional cars, you will choose this marker here. which costs 4 money and will bring you 3 winning points each round. If your train is able to hold 4 additional cars, you will take this one for 7 money, which would bring you 5 winning points each round. For the second player to choose this action, you see that you are only allowed to take car transporters and no dining cars. Next possible action is to upgrade your service point. You choose one of your service points, pay this 4 money, and you will get additional 2 winning points for each route which uses this service point. You have to take this service point plus marker and put it on your route card. Next, you can invest in an advertising campaign. For the first player, it's to choose whether you get 1 additional passengers or 2 for one of your routes, costing 4 or 7 money. For the next player, it's only 1 additional passenger possible. You use these passenger plus markers on your route card. Now you can improve your terrain with additional options like VLAN, improved interior, energy saving driving, and high speed. If you have a terrain that can hold a high speed option and you buy this high speed option, and your route you're operating this terrain is a high speed route, you will get these extra points. If we take this marker, it will cost us 7 money, but it would bring us 6 winning points if we have a high speed route. So let's take a look on our train. The train has the possibility to hold all these options, therefore we take this big marker and we put it on the train. If the player has chosen these options and, for example, Service Point Plus, this Service Point Plus is put on Munich as we have a service point in Munich. Now back to the upgrade board. Next possible action is to avoid negative effects of events which will come up in the next step of the game. It costs you 2 or 3 money. If you don't find any suitable action, you can still go for 3 money, which is paid out to you. That was it for the optimization phase. In the next step, event cards are imposed on the players. Green is for positive effects and red is for negative. Let's see some examples. You are awarded for the best night train connection in Europe. This gets known among tech travelers, and your passenger basis increases. You get 2 additional passengers. And here, 2 of your wagons get devastated by football rowdies. The wagons can't be used for the rest of the year, so you will use 2 wagons for this round. Now it's the 5th step, the route assessment. You have all the information necessary available on your player's board. We start with occupied wagons. You see, you have enough passengers to fill all the wagons, so it's 12 winning points. Meanwhile, I've put this leasing marker on the train. We have decided to have a leasing contract for it. Leasing contract means that you have, in this case, -6 winning points to consider. -6. Special wagons, you don't have any special wagons. Options, we have this option marker which brings 3 plus 3 winning points. Travel time is 10 hours, which is neutral, so 0. And last, service point plus, we have 1, which brings us 2 points. In total, it's a score of 14 points, which you move on the victory point track around the route map. You also get 14 money paid out. And now for the last step of the round, it's the recruitment of specialists. I've already prepared 6 specialist cards on the display board. I will flip them around. Now it's the last player on the winning points track that is the first one to choose. And these specialists are have very different advantages. For example, with this one, you are the one who can first choose the routes even before the starting player. Or this one, you are having a special option for the selection of the trains. Or here you get 10 additional money. So these specialists will help you in different phases of the game and are really important to that you can be successful. So that could be the picture after one round played. You can see all the players have marked their routes, and you also can see that, for example, here between London and Paris, there is already a co-usage of the green and the blue player. So each of these players have to reduce their passengers on their routes. And here in Paris, you can see that the green player is using the blue service point. He doesn't have to pay the cost for the service point, but he has to give 1 winning point per round to player blue. That's the picture after just 1 round, so you can imagine after 4 rounds it will be very crowded and there will be many co-usages and loss of passengers throughout the game. After the 4th round, there is a final scoring, which you can find on the inside of your money cover. First of all, it's the secret route targets. You get 5 points if you achieve 1 target, or 15 points if you achieve 2. And here on the right hand side, you see the final scoring. For best route, it's 5 points. For the largest train fleet, it's again 5 points. And for the largest cash reserve, it's 5 points. So after this final scoring, the winner can be awarded. Thank you.